What's going on, Cherry Cola Slice and Wild Cherry Pepsi fans out there? What I have here is a bottle to your guys' left of Cherry Cola Slice. And then to your guys' right is an original can of Wild Cherry Pepsi. Yes, Wild Cherry Pepsi. Not Pepsi Wild Cherry. Wild Cherry Pepsi. Those are not to get mixed up with. The title of today's video is going to be, does Wild Cherry Pepsi actually taste like Cherry Cola Slice? In today's video, I'm going to do a taste test of both of these and let you know exactly what I think about them. But before then, I'm going to walk you guys through the history of both these drinks and what happened before and after these two were put out, and then that'll be the end of the video. So without further ado, let's get right into this very, very historical and crazy video. Here we go. So in 1985 in Ontario, Canada, before these two were even put out, there was a little drink called Cherry Pepsi that was released in 1985 in Ontario, Canada. Later on in the States, in 1986, Pepsi had a brand called Slice, and they came out with 3 new drinks that they decided to expand on their brand. It was mandarin orange, apple, and lo and behold, Cherry Cola Slice was added to the Slice brand. Slice is a line of drinks that had 10% fruit juices in them, and it is no longer a line of drinks that was made by Pepsi that even exists. They're all discontinued. Now, Cherry Cola Slice is a drink that lasted for only 2 years, all the way up until 1988, but there was no specific date that it disappeared off of all store shelves. In fact, this right here is a bottle of Cherry Cola Slice that I actually bought from a seller on eBay that worked from PepsiCo from 1979 to 2001. And, yeah, this bottle, believe it or not, is actually from 1993. So in 1988, 2 years after Cherry Cola Slice was discontinued, lo and behold, it was replaced with Wild Cherry Pepsi. And this is the original can of Wild Cherry Pepsi when it first came out in 1988. Wild Cherry Pepsi, it lasted all the way up until 2005 for 17 years. And then it was renamed and reformulated into Pepsi Wild Cherry. Now, if you take a look at the ingredients, you might want to ask yourselves, what exactly was it that changed in the ingredients that gave it such a radically different taste? Because if you ever have had the privilege to try an original Wild Cherry Pepsi, you will notice that it tastes a lot sharper. And the caffeine in it it's almost overwhelming, the difference that you can immediately feel when drinking it. The new Pepsi Wild Cherry that we all know and love today, it had a much sweeter and has a much sweeter taste and a lot more syrupy than the old Wild Cherry Pepsi. But if you take a look at the ingredients, one thing that they did for sure is that they had actually lowered the caffeine content from Wild Cherry Pepsi into Pepsi Wild Cherry. I'm not exactly sure, but I think the original caffeine content was at like ingredient number 4 or 5, and it looked like they had moved it down to about 6 or 7 on the modern day Pepsi Wild Cherry. And also, they had moved the citric acid up from the old Wild Cherry Pepsi from the very last ingredient to around, actually no, They're very close, but the only thing that I can definitively tell you is that the old one had more caffeine in it. And a few other things that changed gave the Pepsi Wild Cherry the much sweeter taste. Now that I've given you guys the history lesson on both Cherry Cola Slice and Wild Cherry Pepsi, lo and behold, it is time to do a taste test comparison to find out if Wild Cherry Pepsi actually tastes like Cherry Cola Slice. Because I have tried one can of Wild Cherry Pepsi before in the past, and the memory that I do have of it is the very sharp taste that it has. It does taste somewhat like Cherry Cola Slice, in my own personal opinion. But look at the color scheme on these. That's not even the original Wild Cherry Pepsi can. This is, but coincidentally, it's kind of cool that the 1992 can of Wild Cherry Pepsi looked so much like the original Cherry Cola Slice. I'm actually going to use this bottle right here for the taste testing, just because, I don't know, I just have a premonition. I kind of feel like this one might be the more valuable one, just because of the artwork. So let's go ahead and get into this, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh, and there's a little bit of fizz inside there, ever so slightly. Oh my gosh, there's fizz inside that Cherry Cola Slice. I can't even believe that. That's the first time I've ever experienced that. I've tried Cherry Cola Slice a couple other times on my channel. Okay, here we go. Making history. First, go ahead and take a look at the Cherry Cola Slice on your guys' left. You can see that there's very small bubbles that are still in there. And it appears to be that the liquid is a little, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I want to say that the Cherry Cola Slice liquid is more solid than the Wild Cherry Pepsi, but it's kind of hard to say with those bubbles, but you guys can be the judges, the viewers. So, yeah, I don't know which one to start with. Let's go ahead and just do the Cherry Cola Slice first, because, yeah, we're going to see if this tastes like it. Man, if you've never had a Cherry Cola Slice before, it has a very, very fruity taste to it. Incredibly fruity. It's not like anything you've ever tried. Definitely tastes familiar. It's crazy because I've never had one that's had any bubbles that are still in it. So that's awesome. Now, let's try the Wild Cherry Pepsi. Oh my gosh. Wow. That is just wild. I feel like the last Wild Cherry Pepsi that I tried tasted sharper than this one. And as far as the taste testing goes, that's as far into it as I'm going to go. But does Wild Cherry Pepsi actually taste like Cherry Cola Slice? Not really. You can definitely taste the cherry notes in both of them, kind of. More so in the Wild Cherry Pepsi. This one actually has a little bit more of a tangy flavor to it, and the fruit juice is very, very apparent. But, man, let me try this out of the can. I don't remember the other wild cherry Pepsi tasting that sweet. The original wild cherry Pepsi. It's kind of tripping me out. Maybe the can that it's in was sealed better. I don't know. That surprisingly does taste very sweet in comparison to what I remembered it tasting like. But all in all, this one's a better experience than the can that was in the 2000s that I tried of wild cherry Pepsi, because the can just looked like it was sealed better. Let's try the cherry cola slice one more time. They're both actually fairly sweet. But the cherry cola slice, it just simply has a lot more of a tang to it. And the fruit juice that's in it definitely distinguishes it as its own entity. And it's absolutely not wild cherry Pepsi. And the final verdict is that the wild cherry Pepsi, it has a little bit more of a sharper taste than the modern day Pepsi wild cherry, but it's still actually fairly sweet. And the caffeine content that's in this one that's higher than this one, I don't know. It just has a different taste to it. I wouldn't say it's like crazy different, but it tastes less syrupy than this one. A little less sweet, equally wonderful. But the cherry flavor in this one, even though it's not as sweet as in this one, there's just something about the wild cherry Pepsi that tastes so much more dynamic than the modern day Pepsi wild cherry. I actually like this better than the modern day Pepsi wild cherry, I think. Well, there you guys have it. At the end of the day, does wild cherry Pepsi taste like cherry cola slice? Not exactly. There's quite a few differences, but they're both wonderful drinks. That's it, you guys. You guys know what to do. If you are new here, or you need something else to do, maybe you're just really bored, I got 3 new videos for you guys to check out. Old videos for you to check out. The first one is Dude Takes on 5 Dave's Triple Cheeseburgers from Wendy's. The second one is Dude Takes on 4 double quarter pounders with cheese from McDonald's. And the third one is Coca-Cola Ultimate 2-liter Chug. I will make sure to leave the links of all 3 of those videos down in the description of this video. And for all other extras and even ways to help support this channel, it's all listed down in the description below. Maximus the Fourth here, as always. I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Quick little announcement. I'm going to dump the rest of this cherry cola slice into this bottle, this old bottle, to try to preserve it. And I don't know if I'm going to do this just yet, but I'm indeed thinking about sending this sample to my buddy DJ Glowing Ice so he can do a review himself on cherry cola slice. See you later, guys.